first engagement in Ramadi cured, in my opinion, it cured the PTSD from Fallujah. Home life was tough. I was an asshole. That it was going to be game over anyways. So we pulled the pins on the grenade and we're just ready to not get captured, basically. And they didn't know how bad it was. They told my wife that I may not walk again with that leg, which was totally not true. I was walking within the week. And then it was within the month I was back to full duty with 1st Battalion 6th Marines and beginning to work up for the next tour in Ramadi. So the PTSD really didn't set in, if that's the right word, for, I don't know, a month or two until I got off the convalescent leave. So then we got back. My wife was pregnant at the time, 8 months pregnant, so we got that going on too. So yeah, go back in, and the unit's not home yet, so it's just mundane shit, like basically desk jobs, paperwork and whatnot. Really pointless in my opinion. But yeah, after about a month, I think I really started to notice it, where like doing anything really, it was just kind of going through the motions. When the whole incident on the bridge was actually in my mind, like I was just thinking about that, couldn't stop. Home life was tough because I lived off base. I was married, so you know I was a jerk, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I was an asshole. It almost led to a divorce. My wife, she wouldn't give up because she didn't want to be the military statistic of, yeah, everybody hears you're not going to make it. It's a tough life for a military spouse, but she didn't want to give up, which was nice. The training started back up for the next tour, which would eventually be Ramadi. And the rifle range was it was a challenge. Being a Marine, hearing gunshots shouldn't bother you, but it did. As the deployment got closer, it started causing more anxiety. I just don't know if I can do it again, because really that one was the first bit of combat I had seen, and it didn't end well. I was scared, but like I said, I went there, and at the time I was a team leader, and what we do when we get to our new AO is we do sort of a leader's reconnaissance. We work with the unit we're replacing, and we go out on patrols with their team leaders / squad leaders, and they kind of show us lay of the land, what we need to know, what to look out for. And it was the first patrol I went on with those guys. It was 3rd Battalion 8th Marines we replaced. The first patrol I went on, we were sitting up on a roof in a part of the city that they said you gotta look out for, and they were right. We were up there for maybe 20 minutes and started taking RPGs and machine gun fire. That was what I was worried about. I didn't know how I would react when I was put in that situation again. And as soon as it was over, I felt great. It was almost a relief. It's like it's not gonna end badly every time. That was about the sum of the relief in place, leader's reconnaissance. Well, then we started getting to the dailies with 1st Battalion 6th Marines, and that consisted of 1 patrol a day, which lasted 3-4 hours. Lots of walk-in, probably a few times a week. that we would take fire. We were just walking around waiting to get shot at so we could do something about it. But when you're not patrolling, you're sitting guard for 6 to 8 hours at a time, which was awful. But yeah, you just catching sleep when you can, eating when you can, and then doing it all over again the next day, over and over and over. So the gunfights were actually, you look forward to them because it breaks it up, you know, it gives you something to get excited about. And more often than not, 90% of your time in theater is just waiting and waiting. It's boring. It's monotonous. Like I said, we look forward to gunfights. We tended to put ourselves in a situation where we would get shot at. That's because that was the daily I was there for 7 months before I got wounded in February. Said the first engagement in Ramadi cured, in my opinion, it cured the PTSD from Fallujah. And then when I got to Ramadi, I was dead set on getting out, just 4 years and done. A few months in, because I felt so good about the job again, I was actually looking to re-enlist and make a career out of it. But it didn't work out, because obviously February came around and I got wounded bad enough that the Marine Corps didn't need me anymore. And it took a minute to get used to Dane, because he was always a joker. If I needed a door kicked in, Dane wouldn't just kick it in, he'd run right through it. The blast, like I said, was over our heads. For me, it must have broke my helmet, as it fractured my skull